Hey, it's Joe. Me and Bob were recording one of the chapters of Boba Fett, and we just started tangenting off onto some other subjects, Shang-Chi, some Cobra Kai, just some stuff we were watching on TV. So kind of all over on this one, but no real spoilers. So hope you guys enjoy.
This is the Buntarelli Show.
So I'm watching Shang-Chi, and at the beginning, I'm watching, this is the coolest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Any of the, I'm like, okay, it got better than Iron Man now. And I'm like, this is better than Matrix. It's getting into some crazy level good.
Yes.
And then as much as I started loving it, I started getting so lost. And I still don't understand anything that happened. And I don't want to go through everything that happened now because I'm actually going to just watch it again.
Yeah.
But I'm so lost. I'm like, if I ask my kid if she knows what's going on and she says yes, I'm going to a hospital because I have brain damage.
No.
Because I'm so lost. I don't know who's who. I don't know. Well, we're not who's who, but I'm watching it and I'm saying, at what point do I, because as lost as I am, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
It says, at what point do I become so lost that it starts making it a bad movie? Because I'm like, it's still, even though I don't know what's going on, I'm still thinking it's the coolest thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'll go into, I start spacing out and going into this train of thought. Like if you had to compare this movie to that movie, does the fact that I didn't know what was going on in Shang-Chi take away points or not if I still enjoyed it more? And as I'm thinking this to my head, I come back out of my little trance and I look at the screen and Shang-Chi is flying on a dragon. And I go, it's official. I'm so lost. It's taking away from the movie now. I have no idea what's going on. I'm so lost.
Well, and it's what it really was, and however you caught it when you were watching it, but they actually did the story pretty cool because they had a juggle of we can't just build up the origin, so just show him being cool and flash back and unravel the mystery while we show him being cool, so you have the patience for it. It was a different approach to an origin storytelling.
Okay, but now was he, because he never answered the wife as she's asking him the same question over and over, was he aware of all this magic that's in the world this whole time, or was he also as lost as she was? The wife's like, oh my God, there's this. Oh my God, there's this. And then they show his face and I'm like, did he know that was the world's like this or not?
He knew his dad had the rings. He knew his mom was able to take down his dad with her version of magic. And then he unraveled a little bit more of it later. Well, no, he always knew everything. He was more unraveling it to his friend.
Okay. See, I didn't get if he knew it or not. Oh, the one thing I do have to say on that movie though, is holy crap, bringing in the guy from Iron Man, the worst Iron Man.
The Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they bring back the Mandarin, who is just a joke of a character.
Yeah.
That turned out to be a joke of a character.
Yes.
In Iron Man. Now they bring him back. Now he's in this magic thing and all this, and now you're like, holy crap, this guy's really this. And then I'm thinking, holy crap, now this guy's in the Marvel universe, and this is Ben Kingsley playing whoever this guy is going to turn into. So this could, they could, he's a great, great actor. So now they could really turn this into, turn that into something cool. And they're bringing all this cool stuff into whatever the hell happened with him and his mom and his dad. I still have no idea.
Yeah. But
they're bringing all this cool stuff now into the Marvel universe. It's just unlimited, unlimited coolness, unlimited new animals and stuff we get to see.
The thing with Iron Man 3 was because Ben Kingsley played the Mandarin so cool in the trailers, okay? So the Mandarin is Iron Man's Green Goblin, he was supposed to be the big Iron Man villain. And at the end they said, he's like, you'll never see me coming. And things he's just badass. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm just an actor, this and that. I'm like, that was the Mandarin? You made a joke? Suppose you made the Green Goblin just act like that. No, I was just playing around, dude. So it was just a big disappointment. So what they said was they kind of, once again, going back to the Star Wars thing, it was they said, no, we're going to kind of justify it and say, yeah, he was a BS Mandarin. Here's the real Mandarin. He was playing this guy. There's a show on Disney Plus. It's the Mandarin or something. It's they did a special on him. It's like a prequel to Shang-Chi, and they show him in prison. And he was like the prison, he just makes a lot of friends in prison.
Kingsley, like those live action.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know about that.
It was like a Marvel one shot. It was like a 20-minute lead into Shang-Chi. But somebody, he's dealing with the prisoners, and all the prisoners like him, and he's like, oh, hey, oh, thank you. And he go, come on, do it again. And he puts on his sunglasses, and he goes, okay, just this once, fellas. And he goes, you'll never see me coming. And everybody goes, woo! All the prisoners go, woo! And then all of a sudden, the Mandarin, like this guy goes, well, why are you playing the Mandarin this and then? He goes, I don't know. Somebody offered me a job at 10 Ring. And he goes, did you ever think the real Mandarin might get mad? And that was like the lead in the Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's father was the real Mandarin because instead of 10 rings on his fingers, it was the rings around his wrist. So they kind of retconned it.
I did not catch any of that.
Shang-Chi's father says, he goes, I've been called many things. This, that. He goes, they even called me the Mandarin. You know what a Mandarin is? It's an orange. And he makes a joke about it. But he had been named, it was like a legend. So in Iron Man 3, the bad guy that turned out to be, I can't remember his name, but the guy that had all the powers and everything, he goes, yeah, I'm the real Mandarin. This is my he was the actor as a spokesman, but he was trying to claim the 10 rings thing.
Turn red.
Yeah, and it was just like, so that was the point of that storyline, but they said, no, we're going to give you guys wanted the good Mandarin, we're going to give you a good Mandarin. So it was Shang-Chi's father. He didn't go by Mandarin, but he said, I have been called the Mandarin. So Ben Kingsley's actor played off that legend of the Mandarin.
Oh, and I was thinking watching it too, I have to watch these movies sooner. I guess this just didn't come up for me and you because it didn't tie into Star Wars.
Yeah.
But there's storyline, like how we were talking Star Wars, or like, well, every show, it's still a Star Wars thing, even if it's called Boba Fett or Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Every Avengers thing, like if we were to have an Avengers conversation, there's a lot of stuff you wouldn't have been able to say because you know me and you don't want to spoil the movie.
Yeah.
So I had to watch. I'm like, oh, poor Joe has been hurting. Like, which things exactly? Like there's some, my kid had seen that Doctor Strange was going to show up and I didn't even realize it.
You're thinking of Wong, Doctor Strange's
yes,
buddy.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home. When Wong has his suitcases and he's like, I'm out. It was like he was going to go do his little fights in Shang-Chi. Like he was like, all right, whatever, figure this out. I want no part of this.
He just goes from movie to movie through this little thing.
So Tim Roth is supposed to play the Abomination in the She-Hulk TV show. Oh, we got to talk about?
There's a She-Hulk thing.
Yeah, there's a She-Hulk coming. It looks good. And they're bringing in Mark Ruffalo to play the Hulk for a couple things, but the whole thing behind She-Hulk is Hulk's cousin, and she got some kind of blood transfusion from the Hulk, and then she gets these Hulk powers, but she's not like a crazy monster. If you've ever seen She-Hulk, she's like just a stronger, like bigger woman that's just like, but she still maintains her personality, kind of like Smart Hulk. But also,
gotcha.
Moon Knight. What do you think about Moon Knight?
Oh man, Moon Knight was awesome.
Yeah. Moon Knight, the lamest Marvel character that I've never had. I don't think, if I ever read Moon Knight, it was because he appeared in somebody else's comic. It was like he appeared in Spider-Man or appeared in Ghost Rider. But now I'm like, and like the way they made his costume, and it's like this mystic Egyptian crazy magic. It's like, that looks good. That looks really good.
That was a trailer, right? That was a trailer that just
a trailer.
Because
I don't even know there's a release date, but
yeah, with Oscar Isaac, and the guy that's in he's in Star Wars, he's in a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, Dune.
That trailer looked nuts.
Yeah,
that looks really cool.
That was a jump, and
I don't remember him from the comics, but it still looks really good.
Star Wars has mastered TV. Like Star Wars got the TV thing down. They figured it out, and they flopped around in the movies for a while. Like
Moon Knight's a show. It's not a movie.
It's a show. Now,
nice.
Marvel,
we're doing it. We'll
do. Yeah, we're on. I'll find a release date, but we'll do the Moon Knight episode for episode. But Moon Knight is like, I think they're finally finding. I think Marvel's Marvel mass. Okay, here's the contrast. Star Wars.
Marvel's following Star Wars. Marvel's getting better and they're doing their shows.
It's taking them a little bit of time. Like Scarlet Witch, I still loved WandaVision. Flaws and all, whatever we're expecting, they're gonna do. The cool thing about Star Wars is you have no expectations because you don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Marvel's like, oh, the thing is when people watch a Marvel show, they're like, oh, are they gonna do this storyline? That storyline, and they get disappointed. You know, they see the Quicksilver, turns out to be a bust, and people are like mad. But it's like, now Moon Knight, we don't know nothing about. Like, I don't know nothing about. You and me are the same when it comes to Moon Knight. So you and me are just going in there to watch a show. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference. Yeah. Like, there's no expectations. Like, I hope they do this. I've never read a Moon Knight comic. I don't know what his origin is. I don't know nothing. So it's like, it's almost better. Like, why was the Mandalorian? Like, we went in there. It was because people like the guys in Rebel Force Radio. They're like, it's like they'd say we gave all of Boba Fett's best attributes to the Mandalorian. Maybe that was a mistake. I say no, because we went into the Mandalorian saying I don't know who this guy is, so I'm just going to learn who he is with no expectations. This guy has no history to go with. So when you have no history and no expectations, it's better.
Yeah, like I always say I always want to go into something fresh. Like the less you know about the movie, the better.
Yes.
Which after watching She and being so lost, I'm rethinking that. Maybe I should know a little bit before I go in.
No, yeah, you just gotta watch it again. It just didn't hit you right the first time.
I gotta watch it again.
There's I know nothing about.
That hit me right the first time. I don't know.
I know. No, I knew nothing about Shang-Chi going into that movie, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Then you got Eternals, where they tried something deep and crazy, and I was like, I watched it. I would almost say,
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna tell you anything about it. It was good. I watched it. I'm like, all right, I'm entertained. It's been on Disney Plus. I've had no desire to watch it again. That's what I would tell you. It was just
well, because with Marvel, you're expecting like you get disappointed because you're thinking it's going to be another like some of the Spider-Man movies were so freaking good.
Oh, when No Way Home comes out in digital, I can't wait.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to watch that again. To be able to sit down and watch it and full on. Wow, that ridiculously good. But yeah, Avengers and Star Wars both have that, to where you're expecting this huge movie to have this impact on your life, like where the Darth Vader scene fighting Luke Skywalker, you think that's going to happen. It's like, no, that doesn't happen all the time. You're not going to have that great scene, that great movie.
Yeah.
And then and Marvel's had enough, they've had some duds. Like neither of us have watched Hawkeye. I feel like I need to watch that.
Oh, I watched Hawkeye. I watched Hawkeye, but it was like, it was good. I liked it. And I was like, I wanted to see the storyline, and I'm in like the new characters they introduced. I love to see them again. It was kind of like Daredevil. Oh, cool. Like you watch Daredevil, but you don't need to go back and watch Daredevil. You saw it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Go back and watch
but that's how Hawkeye was.
Go back and watch some fights though.
Yeah,
Daredevil. I sent you that fight scene where it was like just a 3 minutes or not 3 minutes or a minute and a half.
The hallway scene.
The hallway fight where it's one take. And it's just so well done.
No, Hawkeye was good. It wasn't anything epic or mind-blowing, but you're watching it and then you're like, oh, I got to see what happens next. It was good. It was very good. It expanded that character and his history very good without taking away from him. And it was like a fun, cool ride. You know what I mean? But it was good. And some things are just like that. But No Way Home, I feel like No Way Home. So my wife, she watched the whole original trilogy with me, like in theaters. Maybe not the first one, but she knew everything. She liked it. Even the third one, she was like, yeah, and totally missed the Andrew Garfield stuff. I took my nephews to go see that. They were like 5 and 8 at the time or something like that. They were my son's age.
Right.
Let me scoop them up. We'll go see it together. And we saw it and we're like, hey, that was good. That was good. That was different. But I feel like the way this last Spider-Man was, my wife having no knowledge of Avengers or any of that stuff, but she did watch the first trilogy. I could say, like, just watch this. This Spider-Man exists in the Avengers world. Just watch it, take it for what it is. I think she would enjoy it, not knowing about the other two Spider-Man.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
me and Maddie were talking about it the whole drive home.
And she didn't know about the first two Spider-Man. So my wife doesn't know about the
first two Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know about the first two. Like we were talking about the scene where Andrew Garfield saves the girl, and we were saying the meaning of that. She's like, yeah, I saw that, and I see all you guys crying. I'm like, Maddie, you don't understand.
Yeah.
you don't know where we've been.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, he said it. He said that this and that. And I was like, okay, well, yes. So
we
cool.
saw it happen.
She was, yeah, she was there with us, and she still seen that it was a big thing.
We heard the pound on the head. We heard her neck snap. You weren't there. You didn't see the web. Remember the web reached out, like the hand reaching out? Like
yeah.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Garfield, ever since that movie, they've been like Instagram and everything, and that's why I watched Shang-Chi, because I was starting to see not spoilers, but I'm seeing how they're showing things. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to see a Shang-Chi thing by mistake.
Yeah.
But they're showing Andrew Garfield that scene, and then they're going back and showing some of his scenes, and they're doing this a lot now, and like giving him more credit than he got. Like, there's one where he's full on in his suit, telling her to back away. But he's so expressive with his body movement.
And he did that.
Like, you don't need to see his eyes. You don't need to.
He did that in No Way Home when Electro was saying, like, oh, you ain't the shit no more. And Andrew Garfield goes, oh, come on, man. And he puts his hands over his head. I'm like, that's straight up Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. He could act in that costume. I would say he's the best
in the costume.
Yeah, he was very expressive, and you believed it was him in the costume. Like, he kind of knew to exaggerate himself in the costume. And I tell you something else about him. I like the stuff with him and Gwen Stacy better than the stuff with Peter and Mary Jane in the first trilogy.
Yes.
Like, I like the Emma Stone,
for sure.
The Emma chemistry.
Stone, that dynamic. Yeah, they wrote her character to.
Remember when she finds out and he shoots the web?
She wasn't just the girl next door. She was actually like involved and had something.
Yeah, remember when he
go ahead.
He tells her and he shoots the web at her and spins her around. And she's like, "Oh, you're," and then they kiss, and then like he shows up later all bloody and she's wiping. Like, they're the best. That was my favorite.
Yeah. What a shame they didn't wrap that series up for him. But it was so cool that. He got to do it in this one, and he really stole the show.
Yeah.
In this one, if you think of it, he stole the show more than the first Spider-Man did. Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
He were like he's like, when I think about that movie, I'm thinking about him. I'm not thinking about Tom Holland at all, or I'm thinking about Andrew Garfield. So it's nice that they really let him, gave him his due.
I also think because Tobey Maguire was so much older at this point, because the first Spider-Man was, I've been married 17 years. So it's like, first Spider-Man was like, it was 2000. So it was like, he is physically older. So he had to come in like, I'm the wiser, more experienced Spider-Man. And he did. Yeah. He did play like the Obi-Wan Kenobi Spider-Man. Like, he was just very.
I like that. They did it. They did it well. And it was It's not that I don't think he did anything bad, but just because he was that instead of, his story was wrapped up.
Yes.
So it was nice to just hear his point of view on everything.
Yes.
But he was like talking about him and Mary Jane and how they're together now. Like, how's it going? Oh, we're good. It's work. But
we're working it out. Like, they actually said, Toby, the three of them talked about a lot of stuff and had a lot of input in the script. And both Toby and Andrew were like, I don't want to tell too much. I don't think we should tell too much. Just leave some stuff ambiguous, which is cool. Like Andrew said, she wanted me to go on, which is how their movie ended, but I stopped pulling my punches. I got to a dark place. So it really sets up if they did, because there's a lot of talk, like, nobody's talking, there's a little talk about Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, but there's a lot of buzz about the Andrew Spider-Man 3. And it's almost to the point where just the fan call for it. They could do it. They almost there's more of a desire to see Andrew become Venom than Tom Holland deal with that Venom stuff, because he is in a dark place. It would work better with him. You know what I mean? If he if he goes against Tom Hardy's Venom or whatever, but there's almost more of a desire for that. And the other thing is, Remember how we had Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Verse? It was like Gwen Stacy if she didn't die.
Seen somebody posted a picture. Yeah,
Emma Stone is Spider-Gwen. Like, that would be awesome if it would have popped up in that movie. Like we said, like, why was it Miles there? It would have been a little too much. It would have taken away from it. But like, yeah, I would totally sign on for just make that movie. Make an Emma Stone Spider-Gwen movie. That would be awesome. You know, Gwen Stacy died in the regular comics, and they made Spider-Gwen. That was like Gwen Stacy from an alternate universe. So yes, anything could, and because they're saying anything could happen, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Maybe
time travel. We'll just go back in time and bring them all back to life.
You know where it might happen if they did it, and they should do it, is Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. There's some rumors, and everything's all big rumors. It's not even like the 3 Spider-Man. It's just like people think or people say they've had talks with Hugh Jackman over making an appearance as Wolverine. Or
really?
Yeah, because Disney is going to do their X-Men thing. Disney bought Fox, so it's coming. X-Men is coming to the MCU. But it's something you can't rush or you don't want to rush and do wrong. But you could say an alternate, you could show Hugh Jackman won't be the MCU's Wolverine. But if Doctor Strange has this big finale where the multiverse is wrapping itself up, you can make whatever you want appear. You can make a Hugh Jackman Wolverine appear for 2 seconds, a Spider-Gwen appear for, kind of like Loki was really the setup for the Spider-Man thing. Because Loki kind of was like the prequel to just explain this multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, and they were like, this is how it works. Here's 5 Lokis. One of them's a girl. One of them looks the exact same. One of them looks, is Tom Hiddleston. One of them's an old guy. And it kind of just said, and as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, they explain how the Spider-Man thing's going to happen. They explain the multiverse. So, I mean, they can't ride this multiverse thing forever and just do whatever they want. But while the door is open, let's do all these fun things. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see Hugh Jackman just like whip out his claws for 2 seconds. Even though he's done with Wolverine and everything, like, that's not really, his character did get to close. Logan was like, God, Logan was, I think I still would hold, if it came down to the X-Men movies, I would say the best 2 X-Men things were Days of Future Past and Logan.
Days of Future Past, yeah, that was a great one. Logan goes in the category. You got Logan, you got Endgame, the last Endgame, and Spider-Man, and I'm gonna go ahead. It has nothing to do with it, but I'm gonna throw Supernatural in there because I am still traumatized by the end of that show. That's the show that I told you it was on for 15 years. Yeah, this show. And it was like hour-long episodes, and it was something like 25. It was like a soap opera. Like they must have been constantly working. There were so many episodes.
I wish I didn't fall out of season 1.
15 years. Oh yeah, because season 1 it's very slow, and I'm watching season 1 with Maddie, just because she's into it. I'm watching it, but then they start getting older. The stories start getting better. They start getting a little bit of a budget. Yeah, like it was one of those deals like where a season starts and they started off with some special effects explosion and just to tell you like, look, we got money now. It's going to be better, That's when I could start over. It started really coming together. And so I'm not going to tell you the ending for it, but it was an Endgame type ending. Okay. But the way they did it in a new way that was just it really just sort of drew it out, and it was intense. And it was like, because it's something that we've been watching together for so long, you know what I mean? Like it's hundreds of hours of a show versus, a 3-hour movie. So now you got, so anyway, going off track. So and then you got the Spider-Man one. There's been some pretty traumatic, like, ending movies in a period of a few years. Yeah. Like last series came to a wrap.
No, I watched Supernatural when it first came out, and it was like, not live, but, like, here's a new episode. And I think I watched 2 seasons of it, maybe with my wife. And then we just fell out of it. So I never saw it gain its momentum or do whatever it was supposed to do. But to go for 17 years, somebody liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the, like when, Netflix has the thumbnail where it's the picture, just some picture that's on the thing when you click on it. Well, the thumbnail for it is from season 1, them as kids, but the show went on for 15 years. You age a lot in 15 years.
Yeah.
They're adults. So if you look back, and not only are they kids, but like they're wearing like big baggy clothes that like the style is even different.
Yeah.
So it looks, every time me and Maddie would go to start the show, we'd watch the trailer for a minute and laugh at it because it was like so ridiculous compared to where it went. Like they went into Bible stories, like not like Bible group, but you know, they like characters from the Bible, like
that's
in the
yeah.
So it's like, and you know, so I'm watching and I'm explaining to Maddie, I'm like, oh, that's like that's from somewhere, you know, this isn't just a random thing, like that's the devil, that's, you know, that's whatever, like the storylines that me and you know from growing up with it.
You know what you got to jump on is Cobra Kai. I know it was slow to start.
Yeah.
And I know the actor,
because somebody else said it was good. And
yeah, William Zabka, and even now, he's not the best actor, but you grow to love him because he's just consistent, like his personality. Yeah. But the show, Bob, every season I watched of this show, because when I first caught it, season 1 and 2 were out on Netflix, all right? I binge watched them like, I would go 3 or 4 episodes a night because every episode, like, I got to see what happens next. Like, I plowed through some Cobra Kai.
I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, when season 4 came out,
another shot.
Bob, season 4 came out. I think it was like 10 or 11 episodes.
They were already up to 4? I thought this was just like months ago I tried watching it.
4 just came out. I watched season 4 in 3 days max. I almost want to tell you 2 days. I will say 3 days max to not exaggerate. But definitely 3 days max. I watched the whole season. Like, it was like,
oh, wow.
I got to go to bed. Nope, I could do one more. I'll just rough it. Like, it's good.
Yeah.